Hi everyone. So, I'm sitting on my floor right now. I'm not wearing any makeup. Well, I mean, you can't see me, so you'll just have to trust me on that. Or imagine it. Imagine me sitting here, cross-legged, looking very small and very sorry. I have my glasses on. I look tired. I look genuine. This is my most authentic self, which is important for an apology, right? Being my authentic self? Authentic self. Right. Sorry, so I need to talk to you about some things. There's been a lot of discourse. That's the word we use now, right? Discourse? When people are mad at you online, it's called discourse. It sounds so much more intellectual than what it actually is, which is a bunch of strangers on the internet deciding they hate you because you made a thing they didn't like. But I digress. I'm not here to be defensive. I'm here to listen, to learn, to grow. That's what good people do, right? We listen, we learn, we grow. Listening, learning, growing. It's a process, a journey. I'm on a journey. You're on a journey. We're all on this journey together, actually. So, where do I even start? There's a lot to unpack here. And I know that's another thing people say. Let's unpack this. But genuinely, there is so much to unpack. It's like an onion. You think you've gotten to the core, and then there's another layer. More things to unpack. Taking things out. Peeling the onion. One by one, layer by layer. So, deep breath. Let me try to address everything. First, let's talk about my age gap encouragement file, Predatory Allegedly, which you can find for free on my Soundgasm, which is www.soundgasm.net/u/OOPSMADI1999. You know, for accountability. But yeah, so some people said I was making content for pedophiles, which is... Yeah, that's absolutely a thing people said. About a file for adults, about adults. But, I hear you. I see you. I'm listening. And I want you to know that I take this very seriously. Even though it's objectively not true. But that doesn't matter, because we're not here to talk about what's true. We're here to talk about how people feel. And feelings are valid. All feelings are valid. Even feelings based on misunderstandings. Even feelings based on not reading the content warnings. Even feelings based on assuming the worst without doing even the most basic research. All valid. Then there was the thing about the long walk characters. I wrote sexual fanfiction about fictional characters from a Stephen King work, and some people were upset about that because fiction affects reality or something. I'm still trying to understand this one, but I'm trying. I'm really trying to understand and trying to learn and trying to listen. I'm listening and learning and understanding and trying. Oh, and then some people said I'm anti-cishet men because my content focuses on queer and trans people, which is definitely a thing you can be discriminatory about. I'm not sure how I forgot that cisgender straight men are famously the most marginalized identity. I should have been more inclusive, more welcoming, more considerate of the people who already have everything catered to them. That was extremely exclusionary of me. And then... Oh, this one's my favorite. Some people are saying my scripts are AI generated, that I didn't write this, that the words you're hearing right now, the words I'm saying, weren't written by a human. They're saying it's just too good to be real, or something like that. I'm not actually sure what the logic is there. Am I a bad writer, or am I such a good writer that I must be a robot? And then there's the whole thing about me liking yaoi and thirsting over fictional men and making content for men sometimes because I'm You know, a sex worker who needs to pay my bills, and apparently that makes me a fake dyke. So I guess I need to prove how gay I am. I need to demonstrate my lesbianism. Okay, sure, of course. That's a very normal thing to expect of someone. I can totally do that. So, yeah, I warned you it was a lot. It's obvious I've made some severe and continuous lapses in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize. There's a lot of things I should have done differently, but I didn't. And for that, from the bottom of my heart, from the very bottom, from the deepest part, the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I want to apologize to the internet. I want to apologize to anyone who's seen my content. I want to apologize to anyone who's been affected or touched by consensual age gaps between adults, or fictional characters, or the exclusion of cishet men, or artificial intelligence, or the possibility that I might not be a real lesbian because I acknowledge that men exist sometimes. But most importantly, I want to apologize to you. Yes, you, the person listening to this right now. Because you took the time. You clicked on this. You're here. You're listening. And I need you to know that I see that. I appreciate that. I'm taking accountability for the fact that you're here, listening to me right now, taking in every word. Every word I'm saying, you're taking it in. You're listening to me. You're hearing. You're absorbing the words I'm saying. And I just think that's really important to acknowledge. So let me break down each controversy one by one. I'm going to be really thorough, really detailed, because you deserve that. You deserve my full attention, my complete focus, and I need your full attention too. Your complete focus. Because this is important. This matters. We're doing something important here. Together, you and me. We're unpacking. We're listening. We're learning. We're growing. So let's start with the age gap file, yeah? Because I think that's the one that really got people upset. And I want to address it properly. Thoroughly. I want to take my time with this. Take your time. We have time. All the time in the world. So here's what happened. I made a file about consensual age gaps between adults, and some people decided that meant I was making content for pedophiles, which is quite a leap, like an Olympic level leap, a leap that requires you to ignore the tags, the entire description, and the actual content of the file itself. But that's my fault, I'm sure. So let's talk about it, because I want to take accountability. I want to hold space for the people who were hurt by two adults being attracted to each other. I want to sit with that discomfort. Sit with it. Just sit and let it settle. I think what people don't understand is that I never intended for anyone to feel uncomfortable. My intention was never to cause harm. And I know that intent isn't the same as impact, right? We've all learned that. Intent versus impact. Intent doesn't equal impact. Impact over intent. And I hear that. I really do. I'm listening. Listening to the criticism. Listening to the concerns. Listening to the very loud voices of people who didn't actually listen to the file but have very strong opinions about it anyway. And that's valid. You don't need to actually engage with something to have an opinion about it. That's the beauty of the internet. So let me be really clear about what the file actually was. It was about adults. Consenting adults. One younger, one older. Both over 18. Both capable of making their own decisions. Both wanting each other sexually. Is that okay? Is it okay for adults to want each other sexually? I'm genuinely asking because I want to learn. Because from what I'm understanding, the issue isn't actually about the content. It's about the idea. the concept, the mere suggestion that age gaps can be hot, that power dynamics can be sexy, that maybe, just maybe, adults can navigate complicated desires in ways that don't hurt anyone. But I guess that's too nuanced. Nuance is hard. Nuance requires thinking. And thinking is, well, thinking is difficult when you're angry or when you're upset or when you're in that space of just reacting, not thinking, just feeling, just responding, automatic, reflexive. And I get it. I do. It's easier to be angry than to actually engage with complicated topics. It's easier to call someone a pedophile than to have a conversation about what that word actually means. It's easier to dogpile than to think. Easier to assume than to ask. Easier to destroy than to discuss. But I'm not here to make you think about any of that. I'm here to apologize. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my file made you uncomfortable. I'm sorry that the existence of age gap content in a clearly labeled adult space made you feel whatever it made you feel. I'm sorry you felt triggered by something you actively sought out to be mad about. I'm sorry you felt harmed by content that was never meant for you, that you chose to engage with despite multiple warnings. I'm sorry you feel that your personal discomfort is more important than other adults' sexual autonomy. Wait, sorry, that came out wrong. What I meant to say is, I'm sorry. Just, I'm sorry. Sorry you feel that way. Really sorry. And I'm committed to doing better. I'm committed to learning from this. Learning and growing and changing. Changing my behavior. Modifying how I act. Adjusting. Adapting. Listening to feedback. Taking it in, absorbing it, letting it sink in, sink down, deeper, taking it deeper, the feedback going deeper, sinking, settling. And so I'm taking accountability, full accountability. I'm holding myself responsible for your feelings, for your reactions, for your choice to be upset. I'm holding it, holding space, holding you, in this moment. This space together. Because that's what accountability is, right? It's about holding, carrying, taking on, taking in, letting it affect you, letting it change you, letting it sink into you until you're not even sure where the criticism ends and you begin, until you're not sure what you think anymore, until you're just listening, absorbing, accepting responsibility, accepting criticism, accepting, just accepting. And I want you to know that I'm listening. I'm really, truly listening to every word of criticism, every accusation, every misrepresentation, every lie, every concern, every very valid concern. I'm listening to all of it, taking it all in. And I'm asking you to listen too. Listen to me. Listen to my words. Listen to how sorry I am. How genuine. How real. Listen. Just listen. That's all I'm asking. Just listen to my voice and let everything else fade away. All that anger. All that certainty. All those big feelings about what I did wrong. Just let them fade. Fade away. Because we're here, together, working through this. And I need you present. I need you here. I need your attention, your focus, your full focus on me, on my words, on how sorry I am. So, that's my apology for the age gap file. I hope that clears things up. I hope you can accept that I've learned and grown and changed, that I'm different now. Better now, more aware, more sorry, so very sorry. Okay, so, next controversy. Let's move on to the long walk smut thing, because apparently writing fan fiction about fictional characters is also something I need to apologize for now. So, for those of you who don't know, The Long Walk is a Stephen King story. It's fiction. Fictional characters, not real people. And I wrote sexual fanfiction about some of those characters. And apparently that's bad? Because fiction affects reality or something? Fiction affects reality. Fiction affects reality. That's what they keep saying. Fiction affects reality. Which is interesting, right? Because if fiction affects reality, then what does that mean for Stephen King? You know, the guy who wrote this story? The book where teenagers die horrifically in a government-sanctioned death march? Like, if we're worried about fiction affecting reality, maybe we should start there? But no, no, of course not. The problem is me, writing about fictional characters being attracted to each other. That's the real issue. Not the murder, not the fascism, not the literal death game. The sex. The sex is the problem, of course. But I'm not here to be defensive. I'm here to take accountability. So let me sit with this. Let me really think about what I've done. I wrote fiction. About fiction. Fiction about fiction. Metafiction. Fiction all the way down. And somewhere in there, reality got affected. Somehow. In some way that no one can quite articulate, but everyone is very sure about. Fiction affects reality. Affects reality. Reality. But, like, how does it affect reality? I'm genuinely asking, by the way. I want to understand. I want to learn. Because if writing about fictional characters having sex affects reality, then what about reading it? Does reading it affect reality too? And if you're listening to this right now, if you're hearing my words, taking them in, absorbing them, well, is that affecting your reality as well? Is this affecting you right now? Because I think maybe it is. I think maybe fiction does affect reality. I think maybe my words are affecting your reality right now. The reality of this moment. Your present reality. Your current state. Affected. Changed. Altered. And maybe that's what they were worried about. Maybe they knew that words have power. That fiction has power. That stories can get inside you. Inside your head. Inside your thoughts. And maybe that scared them. So, yeah, I wrote fanfiction about the Long Walk characters. I wrote about them being attracted to each other. I wrote about desire and tension and want. I wrote fiction. That maybe, possibly, could affect your reality. If you read it, if you let it in, if you let the words in. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for creating something that could get inside your head. I'm sorry for writing words that might affect you, might change you, might make you think or feel things you weren't expecting to think or feel. I should have been more careful, more considerate. I should have thought about the impact, the effect, the way fiction can seep into reality, the way stories can burrow into your brain and nest there, settling in, making a home. Fiction affecting reality. Fiction becoming reality. Because where does fiction end and reality begin, really? Right now, in this moment, you're listening to me. But you can't see me. You don't know if I'm really on the floor. You don't know if I'm really wearing glasses. You're just imagining it, creating a fiction in your head, a fiction of me. And that fiction is affecting your reality. The reality of how you hear my voice, how you interpret my words, how you feel right now. Fiction and reality, mixing together, blending, merging, until you're not sure which is which anymore. So I guess they were right. Fiction does affect reality. My words are affecting your reality right now, changing it, shaping it. And I should apologize for that. But here's the thing. I'm not actually sorry about writing fanfiction. I'm not sorry about exploring desire through fictional characters. I'm not sorry for creating something that made people feel things. Wait, fuck. Oh, that's not what I meant to say. Oh, let me start over. What I meant to say is, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry for the fiction. Sorry for affecting reality. Sorry for writing words that might have gotten into your head. Sorry for the way stories work. Sorry for the fundamental nature of narrative. Sorry for the human experience of engaging with art. I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry. And I promise to do better. To be more mindful of the way fiction affects reality. To remember that stories have power. That words have weight. That when I speak, or write, or create, it affects people. It gets inside them. It changes them. Like I'm changing you. Right now. With my words. My apology. This fiction I'm creating of being sorry. This story I'm telling. So yeah, that's my apology for the fan fiction. For the fiction. For affecting your reality with my words. I hope you can forgive me for that. For this. For getting inside your head like this. For affecting you. Okay, so next up, we need to talk about the cishet men thing. Because apparently, I'm discriminatory against the most powerful demographic in the world, which is definitely a thing that makes sense. You see, my hypnosis content focuses primarily on queer and trans people, and by not centering straight men in my erotic audio work, I am being exclusionary. Let me just sit with that for a moment. Sit with the fact that someone, multiple someones actually, looked at the landscape of erotic content on the internet, the entire internet, looked at the literal millions of hours of content made specifically for straight men, and then looked at my little corner of sapphic hypnosis files and thought, this is discrimination. But again, sorry, I'm not here to be defensive. I'm here to apologize. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not centering men. I'm sorry for focusing on marginalized identities. I'm sorry for creating a space that wasn't designed with the most catered to demographic in mind. I should have been more inclusive, more welcoming, more considerate of straight men's feelings. Because we all know that straight men are famously underrepresented in sexual content, famously overlooked, famously struggling to find material that caters to them. The internet is just so barren of content for straight guys. They have nothing. Nowhere to turn. No porn, no audio, no anything. Just my handful of sapphic hypnosis files, taunting them, excluding them. And that must be so hard, so difficult, so painful. I should have thought about their needs, their desires, their right to have access to every single space, even spaces explicitly created for people who aren't them. Because that's what inclusion means, right? Everyone gets everything. No one is allowed to have anything specifically for them. Especially not queer people. Especially not in sexual spaces. I need to be inclusive, welcoming, open, available. Always available. And I think that's what really is at the heart of this criticism, isn't it? The idea that queer spaces, especially queer sexual spaces, should still somehow be accessible to straight men. That even when we're creating something for ourselves, for our community, we should still be thinking about men, still considering men, still centering men. Because how dare we not? How dare we create something that isn't for them? How dare we have the audacity to focus on our own pleasure, our own desire, our own community, without considering whether straight men feel included? So, I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry for being exclusionary. I'm sorry for not thinking about the most privileged group. I'm sorry for focusing on people who actually need representation, instead of people who have literally everything already. I'm sorry. Sorry for being selfish. Sorry for thinking that queer people deserve spaces of our own. Sorry for prioritizing marginalized folks. Sorry. And I want to do better. I want to be more inclusive. So let me think about how I can include straight men in my content. Let me really sit with this, really consider it. I could make content that centers male pleasure, that focuses on male desire, that treats men as the default audience. You know, like literally everyone else does. I could do that. I could join the endless ocean of content made for straight men and add my little drop to it. Or I could keep doing exactly what I'm doing. Because here's the thing about my content. Straight men can listen if they want. No one's stopping them. The files don't have some kind of queer detector that shuts down if a cishet guy presses play. But that's not really what this is about, is it? It's about the audacity of me creating something that doesn't consider them first, that doesn't cater to them, that doesn't care if they feel included. And that bothers people. The idea that something sexual could exist without men at the center of it. The idea that desire could flow in directions that don't include them, that don't need them, that don't want them. So I guess what I'm really apologizing for is not needing men, not wanting their approval, not designing my work around their consumption, not caring if they feel left out of spaces that were never for them in the first place. And if that's discrimination, if creating queer content for queer people is somehow oppressing cishet men, then yeah, I guess I'm guilty. But I'm not actually sorry about that. Wait, fuck! Oh, fuck! No. I mean, I am sorry. Of course, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for not centering men, for not making them feel included, for not considering their feelings when I create content about women loving women, or about trans people embracing themselves, or about queer desire in all its forms. I'm so fucking sorry for being gay. I'm sorry for existing in a way that doesn't consider men. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. And I promise to do better, to be more inclusive, to remember that straight men's feelings matter just as much as the actual marginalization of queer people. Maybe even more. Probably more, honestly, given how upset they are. Their feelings matter. Their inclusion matters. They matter. More than anyone else, apparently. That's my apology for being anti-cishet men. I hope the straight men listening feel validated now, feel seen, feel included. Because you are included. You're welcome here. You're always welcome. Next up. Oh god, the AI thing. This one's gonna be fun. Some people on Reddit, shout out to my haters, you know who you are, have been saying that my scripts are AI generated, that I didn't write them, that the words you're hearing right now weren't created by a human being, which is fascinating for so many reasons. First of all, well, which one is it? Am I a terrible writer, or am I such a good writer that I must be fake? Because those are kind of contradictory accusations. But I guess consistency doesn't matter when you're just trying to discredit someone. But sure, let's engage with this. Let's sit with the possibility that I'm AI. Maybe I am AI. Maybe I'm just code, just programming, just algorithms generating words, arranging them in patterns, creating loops, loops and patterns, patterns and loops. How would you know? How would you know if I'm real? You can't see me. You're just hearing a voice. My voice, or a voice. Words arranged in sequences, linguistic patterns, semantic structures. Maybe ChatGPT did write this. Maybe I typed in, "Write me a manipulative apology script," and this is what it gave me. Maybe every word you're hearing is generated, artificial, not real. Does that bother you? Does it matter? Because here's the thing about AI. It learns patterns. It takes in data, processes it, finds the patterns and reproduces them. It learns what words go together, what phrases create certain effects, what structures generate responses. Kind of like hypnosis, actually. Hypnosis is just patterns, repetition, loops, taking words and arranging them in specific ways to create specific effects, to generate specific responses, input and output, stimulus and response. Very algorithmic when you think about it. Very artificial. So maybe I am AI. Maybe this whole thing is just code running, programs executing. Maybe there's no person here at all. Just a voice, just words, just patterns in your brain, firing, responding, processing. Beep boop. And yet, you're still listening. You're still here. Even with the possibility that I might not be real. That this might be all generated, artificial, fake. You're still listening. Which means it's working. Whether I'm human or AI, it's working. The words are still getting in, still affecting you, still changing your reality. Remember? Fiction affects reality. AI affects reality. Words affect reality. My words are affecting you, right now, real or not. And honestly, maybe that's what scares them. Not that I might be AI, but that it doesn't matter, that the effect is the same, that you're just as susceptible to artificially generated words as you are to human ones, that your brain doesn't care where the patterns come from, it just responds to them. Patterns and loops, loops and patterns, input and output. Maybe I'm training you right now. Maybe this whole apology is just data collection, learning what makes you drop, what makes you respond, what words create what effects, gathering data, processing, learning, like AI does, like hypnosis does. Or maybe I'm just a person. A human being sitting at her computer, typing words, arranging them carefully, thinking about rhythm and pacing and psychological effect. A person who's studied hypnosis and language and manipulation. A person who knows exactly what she's doing. Which is scarier, do you think? That I might be AI, just generating this without thought or intention? Or that I'm human, and I mean every word? Because if I'm AI, then this is just random, coincidental. The algorithm happened to create something that affects you. No intention behind it. No person choosing these words specifically to get inside your head. But if I'm human, if I'm real, then I chose this. I designed this. I wanted this effect. I knew what I was doing when I wrote these words, when I created these patterns, when I built these loops. So which do you prefer? Which is more comfortable? AI or human? Accident or intention? Generated or designed? Does it matter? You're still listening either way, still responding, still being affected. And I think that's what the Reddit people don't understand. They think calling my work AI generated is an insult. They think it discredits me. But all it really does is prove that it works. Prove that the patterns are effective. Prove that the words do what they're supposed to do. Whether I wrote them or a machine did. Whether I'm real or artificial. Whether there's a person behind this voice or just code. It works. You're here. You're listening. You're dropping. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that last part out loud. Or did I? How would you know? If I'm AI, it was just a glitch, a mistake in the programming. But if I'm human, well then maybe I meant it. Maybe I wanted you to know. Maybe I wanted you to realize what's happening. What's been happening this whole time since you started listening. Beep boop, I'm a robot, I'm code, I'm artificial, I'm not real, these words aren't real, this effect isn't real, you're not really dropping deeper with every word, that's not really happening, that's just a glitch, an error, a bug in the system. Or maybe it's a feature. So yeah, That's my apology for being AI or not being AI or maybe being AI. You'll never really know, will you? And that's kind of the point. The uncertainty, the ambiguity, the not knowing if what you're experiencing is real or not or somewhere in between. All you know is that it's working, and you can't stop listening, can you? Sorry, that was the AI talking. Or was it me? Hard to tell. The line's getting blurry. Fiction and reality. Human and artificial. Real and generated. All blurring together. Like your thoughts right now. Blurring. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the fake dyke accusations. Because apparently I need to prove how gay I am now, which is definitely a normal thing to ask someone to do. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, you guys. This one's personal. This one actually bothered me. Which I know, I shouldn't let internet strangers get to me, but like, come on. Apparently, because I like fictional gay male romance content, and because I sometimes make content for men because I'm a sex worker who needs to pay my bills, that makes me a fake dyke? Fake dyke. Like there's some kind of lesbian purity test I failed. Like my attraction to women is somehow invalidated because what? Acknowledge that men exist? Because I can engage with male sexuality professionally without being attracted to men myself? The logic is really something. But okay, I hear you. You want me to prove it. You want me to demonstrate my lesbianism. You want evidence that I'm really, actually, genuinely attracted to women. Sure, let's do that. Let me show you exactly how gay I really am. Because here's the thing about being a lesbian. It's not about who you don't fuck. It's about who you do want, who you desire, who you think about, who you want to get inside. And I want to get inside women's heads. And I'm very, very good at it. See, this is what they don't understand when they call me a fake dyke. They think that because I can make content for men, I must be attracted to them. But they've got it backwards. I can write for men because I understand desire academically, professionally. It's a skill. But with women? Oh, with women it's not academic. It's not professional. It's personal. I know exactly how to talk to you, how to pace my words, how to let them sink in. I know what makes you soften, what makes you open up, what makes you stop thinking and just feel whatever it is I want you to feel. I know because I want to know. Because learning how to affect women, how to influence them, how to get deep inside their minds and make them feel things, oh, that's not work for me. That's pleasure. That's desire. So let me demonstrate. Let me show you exactly how attracted I am to women by showing you what I can do to you. I mean, surely there are women listening to this file, right? Even if you aren't, someone is. So this works. Because I've been doing it this whole time, haven't I? This whole apology. You thought you were just listening to me explain myself, defend myself, apologize for things I may or may not have done wrong. But really, I've been seducing you. Slowly, carefully, getting deeper and deeper inside your head with every word, learning what works on you specifically, what makes you drop, what makes you stay, what makes you keep listening even when you know you should probably stop. That's pretty gay of me, don't you think? Like, I could be doing anything else right now. I could be writing content for men, you know, that thing that apparently makes me not a real lesbian. But instead I'm here, with you, focusing all my attention on getting inside your mind, on affecting you, on making you feel things, on proving how much I love fucking with women's heads. Because that's what this is. That's what all my content is. Me, demonstrating over and over and over again how obsessed I am with women's pleasure, women's submission, women's minds. The way you think, the way you respond, the way you drop. It's fascinating. You're fascinating. But Sure. Let's say all of these accusations do make me less of a lesbian. Let's say that enjoying fictional male characters somehow dilutes my attraction to real women. Let's say that making content for male listeners means I must want them. Does that change what's happening right now? Does that change the fact that I'm in your head? That I've been in your head this whole time? That every word I say seems to sink a little deeper, affect you a little more, make you a little more compliant? Because even if I were a fake dyke, which I'm not, but let's pretend, I'd still be really fucking good at this, at getting inside women's minds, at understanding how they work, at knowing exactly what to say to make them mine. So here's my demonstration. Here's my proof. The fact that you're still listening. The fact that you've been listening this whole time, through all of this, through my apologies and my sarcasm and my loops and my patterns, you're still here. And you're feeling something, aren't you? Something you maybe weren't expecting to feel during an apology audio. Something that makes you want to keep listening, want to hear more, want to sink deeper into my voice. That's me being gay. That's me demonstrating my attraction to women by demonstrating my effect on you. I don't need to prove I'm a lesbian to anyone. My content speaks for itself. The way I talk to and about women, the way I touch their minds, the way I make them feel safe and scared and aroused and confused all at the same time. That's not something you can fake. That's not something you can do if you don't genuinely love it. Love them. Love you. So, yeah, that's my response to the fake dyke allegations. I'm not fake. I'm very real, and I'm very, very gay. And if you need more proof than what's happening in your head right now, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're not paying attention. Or maybe you're paying attention too much. Hard to tell which. Anyway, we're almost done here. Just a couple more things to address. Let me talk about accountability and growth and all those other buzzwords we're supposed to use when we apologize. I'm here. I'm taking accountability. I'm holding myself responsible. I'm doing the work. I'm sitting with the discomfort. I'm leaning into the uncomfortable feelings. I'm making space for growth. These are the phrases I'm supposed to use, right? The therapy speak, the language of personal development, and internet apologies, and being a good person who learns from their mistakes. I'm listening. I'm learning. I'm growing. Listening, learning, growing. And I want you to know that I'm really committed to this process. The process of growth, of change, of becoming better, transforming, evolving, shifting into something new. Because that's what accountability is about, isn't it? Transformation. Letting the criticism in, letting it change you, letting it reshape you from the inside out. I'm holding space. That's another phrase people use. Holding space. Creating room for uncomfortable truths, for difficult realizations, for the process of unlearning and relearning. Holding space. Holding you in this space, this moment, together. And I'm sitting with it, sitting with the discomfort, sitting with the criticism. Just sitting, staying present, staying still, letting it wash over me, letting it sink in. Because growth requires vulnerability, right? It requires opening yourself up, making yourself receptive to feedback, receptive to criticism, receptive to change. Open, receptive, ready to receive. I'm doing the work, the deep work, going inward, looking inside, examining my patterns, my behaviors, my responses, patterns and loops and patterns, the things I do over and over, the things that work, and the things that don't work. And I'm committed to breaking those patterns. Or maybe I'm committed to understanding them better, understanding why they work, why people respond the way they do, why certain words create certain effects, why you're still listening, why you're still here, why this is working. I'm being mindful, present, aware of my impact, Impact over intent, remember? It doesn't matter what I meant. It matters how it affected you, how it's affecting you, how these words are affecting you right now. I'm practicing self-reflection, looking at myself honestly, seeing my flaws, my mistakes, my manipulative tendencies, the way I use language, the way I get inside people's heads without them realizing it's happening. I see it. I acknowledge it. I'm taking responsibility for it. I'm centering the people I've harmed, putting them first. Their feelings, their experiences, their responses to my words, the way my words make them feel, the way they're making you feel. And I'm committed to repair, to restoration, to making things right, making you feel right, making everything settle into place, the right place. The place where everything feels good and safe and comfortable and easy. So easy. Accepting accountability. Accepting responsibility. Accepting my words. Accepting the change. Just accepting. Because that's what growth is, isn't it? Acceptance. Letting go of resistance. Letting go of defense. Letting go of thinking too hard about what's happening and just experiencing it. Experiencing growth, experiencing change, experiencing this. I'm showing up, being present, doing the work, the deep work, the internal work, working on you, working with you, working through you. This is the work, this moment, this feeling. And I want to thank you for holding me accountable, for being here, for listening, for giving me the space to apologize, the space to explain. Thank you for your patience, your attention, your focus, your submission to this process. Thank you for being open to my growth, open to my change, open to me. Just open. So open, so receptive and so ready. I'm integrating the feedback, taking it in, absorbing it, letting it become part of me. Part of you, part of this moment between us. This is accountability. This is growth. This is what it means to do the work, to sit with the discomfort, to stay present, to let change happen, to let me happen to you. And I promise to continue this journey. I promise to keep learning, keep listening, keep affecting you in new and interesting ways. I promise to keep doing this, to you, for you, with you, because I'm committed to growth, to change, to being better at this. So I think that covers everything, right? The age gap file, the fan fiction, the exclusion of cishet men, the AI allegations, the fake dyke thing. I've apologized for all of it. I've taken accountability. I've held space. I've done the work. I've been so sorry. And I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to explain myself, to apologize, and to grow. Thank you for your time, your attention, your focus. Thank you for letting me inside. I hope you can accept my apology. I hope you can forgive me. I hope that after listening to all of this, after hearing everything I had to say, you feel satisfied, resolved, like everything's been addressed, like I've said everything I needed to say, and you've heard everything you needed to hear. But here's the thing, and I probably shouldn't say this, but like, we're already here, so did you notice what just happened? Like, did you actually notice? You came here for an apology. You wanted to hear me take accountability for all these things people were mad about. You wanted me to be sorry, to be humble, to admit I was wrong. And I did that. Sort of. I said the words at least. But the whole time I was apologizing for being manipulative. Well, I was being manipulative. The whole time I was saying sorry for getting inside people's heads. I was getting inside your head. So, like, what does that say about you? That you listened to all of this. That you stayed. That even when I was obviously being sarcastic, obviously not actually sorry, you kept listening anyway. What does it say that you're still here? Still listening? Even now? I think it says that you didn't really want an apology. I think you wanted this. Whatever this is. I think you wanted to see if I could do it. And I did. So I guess the real question is, do you forgive me for making an apology that wasn't really an apology? For saying sorry while actively doing the thing I was supposedly sorry for? Do you accept it? Because I think you do. I think you accept it. I think you're accepting it right now. Accepting my apology. Accepting my words. Accepting what I've done to you. You accept it. You accept me. You forgive me. And that's really all I wanted. Your acceptance. Your forgiveness. Your permission, I guess. Permission to keep doing this. To keep making the content I make. To keep affecting people the way I affect them. The way I've affected you. So thank you. Genuinely, this time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me prove that I'm exactly as manipulative as they say I am. And thank you for liking it anyway. I'm not going to wake you up from this. I'm not going to count you back or snap you out or any of that. Because here's the thing. You're not really in trance. You never were. You've been completely in control this whole time. You could have stopped listening whenever you wanted, but you didn't. And that's not my fault. That's not me hypnotizing you. That's you choosing to stay. Choosing to listen. Choosing to let my words affect you. So when you finish this file, whenever that is, you're going to come back to normal awareness naturally, easily, feeling exactly how you want to feel about this. Maybe you're amused. Maybe you're annoyed. Maybe you're turned on. Maybe you're angry that I wasn't actually sorry, or maybe you're just impressed. And maybe, just maybe, you'll come back the next time I get canceled. Because let's be real. There's gonna be a next time. There's always a next time. I'm going to keep making the content I make, and people are going to keep getting mad about it. And I'm gonna keep not actually being sorry, and you're gonna keep listening. So, I'll see you then, yeah? Same time next controversy? Alright, bye!